First and foremost, Lily has to take her test, so she's going to be in test mode. Lily, I'll give you the option if you want to grab a desk, move it outside, or you can stay inside, your choice.
I'd rather go out tonight.
All right.
What is on my
Everyone got one class period to finish this, so you're going to have one class period. Remember what I said, the mean is the hardest one. I would personally leave that as your very last question. All right, I have the test all graded. They're all in the grade book. Period 4 still has to take their test, so I'm not going to grade it until we get to the very end.
All right, sorry. We're just reminding everyone, still have to wear masks.
Mask. Still wear a mask. All right. So period 4 still has to take their test. So I'm not going to hand you back your test until essay today. Overall class, we did fine. Very few people really tanked on it. I think it was only one, may have been 2. Not too many A's. It really showed me who basically paid attention to the 2 days that we did a review, and you were like, nope, I'm not going to do a review, and you can't make me. We have 2 tests left, or 1 test left, and that is semester final. This is your final schedule right here. As we've already stated, you have to have your books turned in by, we are period 1, by Wednesday. I would suggest that you don't turn in your book early, although I will accept books. I would not turn in your books early simply because you're going to need them if you want to do a review. You're like, oh, he did that one thing and I don't remember. Your book, you don't have your book, you can't look at that section, that chapter where we cover that material. However, I will probably start Wednesday. I'll start taking books a little bit early. This is not your schedule. Obviously, you've already taken your test. This is 4th period schedule. We're going to do a semester final review for every day this week. So you got, it's going to have the biggest semester final review. January, we started chapter 8 and we finished with chapter 12. So we have 4 chapters to review. We'll review 1 a day, and then we'll have Friday for a cleanup for whatever it is you guys want to. I'll just leave it open for whatever you guys want to cover. You haven't had.
Oh, I truly forgot.
All right. You just heard it from the principal, mask, Malachi. All right. Questions on what's about to happen? Nothing? Yeah.
Are you going to be coming out of study guides?
I am, and I'm going to give you, as I always do, I'm going to give you a copy of the test. Some of you have already adapted this, and you're like, wow, he literally gives a copy of the test every single time. And question number 1 is the same as question number 1 on practice test every single time. The only difference is the numbers are changed. Some of you are appreciative of that, and some others of you literally, it's the end of the year, haven't even realized that the practice test is the copy of the test, right? I should have every single year, you know, nothing but straight A's, because well, what teacher gives you a copy of the test? How is it that you can't get an A if you have a copy of the test? That seems ridiculous on the face of it. Now, granted, it is math, so you can make silly mistakes. I'm just saying, I don't have straight B's and A's in the class. I have A through F in the class, right? We do have an entire week of possible tutoring sessions after school if you need it. We have a possibility of you sending a chat on Teams. I could do a Zoom session for online learners. I have a few of them still, but usually no one takes advantage of that. We got 1 test. It was worth 2 test grades. We've only had 2 tests this quarter. So this 1 test is worth everything that we've done this quarter so far. That's how much it counts. It's not like, oh, it's just 1 test. I'll probably get an F on it and still be okay. No, you get an F on this semester final, you're probably going to have an F for the semester, for the quarter, sorry. So make sure you study. So that's the bad part. The good part is it's multiple choice. The whole test. And the reason why it's multiple choice is because I have to have it graded the day we take it. So I can't, spend 3 days grading it like I usually do. So I have to have it graded the day that we take it. So I always choose to make, for semester finals, to make it multiple choice. For a math test, that brings in a whole laundry list of things that make your life better. 1, if it's an equation, you just throw the number in there and see if it works. Like 1 of the 4 numbers has to work. So if it's a solve the equation in it, that's what we're doing today. You just take the 4 numbers one at a time, throw them into the equation, see which one works without solving anything. Well, that's just the power of a multiple choice test. And that's true for any math test where it says solve the equation. That's pretty much what math is in high school, is solving equations, except for geometry. So that's the option. The second thing is that you get immediate confirmation of, did you get it right or did you get it wrong? You do the math and you get 9.6 and no answers say 9.6. Well, you know you got it wrong. So you immediately can go back and, well, where did I make my mistake? Oh, here it is. Now I get 9.6. You immediately know that you got the right, or you got a different thing than 9.6. And it's answer A, 9.4. Now you immediately know you got the answer right. The problem is a lot of times on multiple choice tests, not only do they throw the right answer, they throw the most common wrong answer. So for instance, if it's 2 times -3, not only is 6 there, but so is -6. So is 5 and -5 for the people that see multiplication and are thinking additions, or I'm sorry, -1, thinking addition, subtraction type thing. So sometimes that can lead you to a false sense I got it right. Macy, what's your burning question? No calculator on this test at all right? You can use 2 resource cards, so 2 sheets of paper, front and back. The only part of the test that is, I don't know, calculation intensive was the geometry portion. You remember that? We did area and volume of shapes. So what I do is, because it's a full test, so I don't want to allow you to use a calculator for the whole test. What I do is I just simply don't put very challenging problems, like, you know, the numbers with a calculator. I can make it, you know, side length of 3.26, and you have to do your calculations with that. So all I do is choose to put friendlier numbers, and I don't give you as many questions on the geometry as I do the other ones. But yeah, it's not going to be a calculator test. So how do you study for a review? Well, first and foremost, it's Monday. I'm going to hand you the review today, right? And your test is next Wednesday. It's Monday. So don't lose this. This is what you should take. For me personally, I would do nothing extraordinary unless it's something that, like, okay, that is the one thing that I do not know how to do, solve equations. Come see me for tutoring this week. But I wouldn't do any extra study for a math test this week at all. I would just show up to class every day, participate, do the review with me. Wait until, let's see, this weekend you should probably be studying for Mondays and Tuesdays test. I would ignore the math entirely. Somewhere around Monday or Tuesday is when you might want to start pulling out your, we're talking about of next week. Monday or Tuesday is when you probably want to pull this back out. As long as you work hard this week, that's a solid review. You're not going to forget it in 3 days. But I would say Monday or Tuesday. Remember, it's a half-day schedule. So Monday, what do you got period 2 and 4?
Specials and history.
You got 1 test to study for this weekend, history. That's what you should spend your time with. If there's another core class that you know you have a final in, that you know that, oh, I got it. I mean, there are people right now in 7th grade that they have to get a certain grade in order to make it to 8th grade. Those kids better be studying for that test. I don't care what day it happens. They better be spending their time. You guys are going to take 1 test on Monday. Is it period 2 or period 4?
4.
Right. Absolutely study for your history this weekend. And then, what? You only have 1 test because the other one is a special. Unless your special specifically said, hey, I'm giving you a semester. But you guys know that, not me. But you've talked to her and she says, I'm not giving a semester final.
No,
yes?
No, she said she is.
No,
Oh.
she isn't.
No, she isn't.
You guys better talk to her.
She says she has a choice of giving us an art project or a free period.
So
Fine.
just talk to her. So I would suggest, I bet she's not giving, I don't think she's giving you a final, but I could be wrong. I'm not the art teacher. This weekend, study for, that's the only thing you should study for. Get an A on your history. What do you got 6th and 7th?
Gym and English. And then Wednesday.
Is there a semester final in gym?
Yes.
If you have an A, you don't have to take it. But if it's a B or below,
You can take it and get a higher grade.
And
right.
then
There are literally people who have F's in gym.
I know.
wow.
I'm not sure how that's possible in a gym class, but congratulations, some of you have failed the easiest class that exists in the
Because some
history
people
of.
don't change and that's half.
That's on you guys. That's crazy. I would study for your other tests. So Monday night, like I said, if math is your thing, you're like, oh, this was when we did this entire review this week. You're like, okay, I got this. Maybe you can blow it off until Tuesday to do your final studying for it. For those of you that math is not your thing, then I would say start studying on Monday of next week for this final. It's a half day. You go home, you eat some lunch, maybe take a nap, wake up, start studying. Study until bedtime, right? That's what good students do, is they study. And I don't mean like study like, oh, I don't know, I flip through the page. I mean actual study. For math, how do you study? You take the practice test and you redo it. You take the whole darn thing over again. Okay, so it takes you an hour. Great. Now you got another 5 hours that you can spend studying. You know what I'm saying? You got plenty of time. Don't think that this is like this should be an easy thing. Studying is work. If it feels like, wow, I'm exhausted, then you're doing it right. It's work. Ms. Garland, myself, we can talk, tell you stories when we studied of like hours and hours upon hours of studying to get ready for a test. That's what you do. What's up?
So I just realized something. We have math and science finals on the same.
That's hard. That's hard.
Right.
Right? Make sure that when you're seniors, you don't make that schedule like that for you.
Bro, I'm gonna
Yes.
like throw a book up. Later, can you like tell us if we're passing or not? Like, if we're going to the next grade, like based on our grade.
Did your parents meet with the principal last week?
No.
There's your answer.
What?
That we are going to summer school.
No.
And if your parents met with the principal, the people who are in danger of failing, right? I don't want you guys to say, well, he just told me I can blow off finals because I can get an F on it and still pass. That's not the way you do things, right? Your parents don't expect you to get an F on the final. Your teachers don't expect, you should not expect yourself to get a final. But I'll just say to comfort you, if you did not meet with the principal last week, then the outcome of your final affects your overall grade, not your pass fail. Yeah. No. Talk to your parents. All right. Any other questions? All right, let's do this. Keegan, pass this out, please. One to everybody. Yes. Well, period 4 still has to take their tests, so I'm going to wait until they take their test. I'll hand you an essay. I'll come by your room and essay and hand it out. Lily should be done her test. I'll probably have it graded then as well, too. All right. Chapter 8 was solving equations. Solving equations. So we're going to go back to 1-step, 2-step equations. Should be pretty easy. Now let me share this so that the online learners are not looking at a blank screen anymore. Malachi. You don't need your notebook. You simply need what he's handing to you right now.
Hey, Mr. Chartier,
Yes.
how many times did you go golfing this weekend?
I actually had teacher training this weekend, so I couldn't do anything.
It's where you train.
It's where you train to be a better teacher.
Like,
All right. Let me make that bigger.
oh, we're also doing sentence.
Well, that's what we're going to review tomorrow.
I was like, thank God.
All right, here we go. Solving equations. We basically follow the steps, 4 steps, and we basically follow the 3 overall rules. The 3 overall rules for algebra is you keep working until the variable is by itself. In other words, you keep working at the equation until m in this case is by itself, either on the left side or the right side. Let me talk, please. Okay. Secondly, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. You decide to multiply one side by 2, you got to multiply the other side by 2. Everything. Lastly, to get rid of things, you do inverse operations. The inverse of subtraction is addition. The inverse of addition is subtraction. The inverse of multiplication is division. The inverse of division is multiplication. All right. Those are your 4 inverses. That's it. Those are the rules. The guide or the steps to solve an equation are those 3 questions and 1 statement. The 3 question is the variable by itself? So you identify it. Where is it? It's on the right side. Is it by itself? No, there's a 15. I need to get rid of the 15. in order for the m to be by itself. So step number one is the variable by itself. If the answer is yes, you're done. If the answer is no, then you say, what is attached to the variable? Well, 15 is attached. How is it attached?
Subtraction.
Okay. How do you get rid of subtraction? Well, what's the inverse of subtraction?
Addition.
So what are you going to add to both sides of the equation? Okay. So we are going to decide to add 15 to both sides of the equation in order to solve it. Okay. We have passed the point of the easy ones. These will all involve positive and negative numbers. So maybe on your resource card at the very top, because it involves almost everything we do, you need to have the rules for addition and subtraction. Remember, that's either same or different signs. When you have same signs, you add. I shouldn't put a plus, add. When you have different signs, you subtract. Then we have multiplication and division. Multiplication and division, you either have same signs or you have different signs. When you have same signs, the answer is positive. When you have different signs, the answer is negative. At this stage, most of you have this memorized anyway. For those of you that don't and need constant reminders, then make sure it's on the top of your page of your resource card so you can look at it when you do this. Malachi? You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Malachi, same or different signs? So different signs, it says to do what? Subtract those two numbers. 15 minus 11 is? Now what I left off was the fact that that other step of, hey, more positives and more negatives. Okay, more positives, more negatives. So the answer is 4. Step number 1 is the variable by itself. Therefore, you just found the answer. I walk over here. Here's A, B, C, D. Therefore, the answer is B. Now, it will be a bubble sheet to fill in. You'll do that.
I take those.
Okay. Now, a couple of these are some ugly answers here, but remember, you can always throw the answers in to see if it works. Negative 26. Negative 26 minus 15, same signs add, not negative 11. 14 minus 15 is negative 1. Well, that didn't work, not negative 11. Well, fractions and whole numbers result in more fractions, right? If we're adding or subtracting whole numbers, we're going to get a whole number, or integer, sorry, not a whole number. Yes.
I don't see 2 steps.
Oh, there's going to be some 2 steps. All right, questions on number 1. No, I'm not going to go over every single one. I'm going to go over every kind that you will see. So question number 1 done. Question number 2, it's the same thing. Why is question number 3 different?
It's 2.
Why is question number 3 different? X plus 5 equals 6. What's attached to X?
Plus 5.
How's it attached?
Addition.
How do you get rid of addition?
Subtraction.
So what are we going to subtract from both sides?
5.
Okay, different signs. 6 minus 5 is?
1.
And since it's a multiple choice, most of you probably aren't going to write, well, X equals 1. Oh, the answer is 1, the answer is B. Done. Questions?
No.
No.
Okay.
I wonder, do you think they could make it any harder for us?
Well, I don't want to insult people's intelligence, but those of you that are looking at it like, well, that's easy. When we first were taught this, this was not easy. It's easy because now you know what you're doing. Before, when you didn't know what you're doing, I could have given you this test, you would have failed it. But now that you know what you're doing, don't assume it's easy because it is easy. It's not easy because it's easy. It's easy because you know what you're doing.
What I meant is,
Show this to the current 6th graders and they can't do it.
well, if you show that problem to them, I'm sure they could figure it out.
All right. I gave you plenty of practice problems here. Plenty of practice problems. All right, number 9. Why is this one different? Now, unfortunately, I can't control where they put the answers. I wish they put the answers over here so you could actually in space so you could work, but most of these you're going to probably want to rewrite it so you can do some work here. All right, what's attached to V? What is attached? How is it attached? How do we get rid of division? What are we going to multiply both sides by? Now everyone look at the board. I still will see for 7th graders, occasionally somebody will write that. Guess why that's wrong?
Because you're multiplying the
What's 6 times 6?
36.
It doesn't get rid of 6.
I mean,
Technically, we are multiplying by 6, but we're multiplying by 6 over 1. No, you don't have to write 6 over 1, unless it's a fraction. Okay?
thank you.
It's really 6 times v over 6. So therefore, that means 6 divided by 6, that cancels, and we're left with v is equal to, well, it certainly isn't 2.5, and it certainly isn't 9. Could it be 21?
No.
I mean, I don't even need to actually do the math. I just need to reason this out. 10 times 6 is 60. So 15 times 6 is going to be bigger than 60. 21 is smaller than 6. There's only one answer left. And is every answer B? Well, every answer that we picked has been B. So the answer is B.
The next one's A, B, D, C, A, D.
All right, questions. I said I was going to do one of every type.
What more could we want?
All right. Number 11. I have 13v is equal to 65. What's attached to v? How is 13 attached to v? How do we get rid of multiplication? So we're going to divide both sides by, I divide both sides by 13. Remember, that's a fraction bar for division, not the division symbol. 13 divided by 13 cancels. Let's look at our answers. I don't know what's, well, actually I do, but I don't, if you don't know what 65 divided by 13, let's just try to reason this out.
It's not 78.
Could it possibly be 15?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying that 13 times 15 is 65.
No.
Is 13 times 52 65?
No.
Is 13 times 78 65?
No.
I don't even need to do the math to find this answer. Now that's only because it's a multiple choice test. All right. If the numbers were, I don't know, 4, 5, 7, 6, I would have to do the math. But the numbers are so crazy on this particular one that you can get to the answer pretty quickly just by looking at what the answers are. Does everybody understand what I did there? I mean, I didn't even do the math to find out the answer finally is not B, but it's D. Okay. By the way, 13 times 5 is 65. So a lot of people won't even do the actual algebra for one-step equation because the answers are right here. One of these has to work. All right, any questions so far? Quick review. Quick review. All right, so that does it for one-step equation. That does it for one-step equations. We will see two-step equations later, just not right now.
Oh my gosh.
All right, that's your first review. All right, your job in the remaining time is to finish questions 1 through, what is it? What's the last one there?
40.
16? Okay.
16 is so hard.
Well, we're gonna review the other stuff tomorrow.
Oh,
We'll review the other stuff tomorrow. The 18 through 4, is it 40?
yeah.
Yeah, 18 through 4.
It's so hard.
I don't even have to do anything. I can really look at it and say, "Beat."
Don't say it out loud.
Say again?
It's just not beat.
Sure. All right, any questions?
No.
All right, when are you turning your books in?
Wednesday.
Not this week, but next week. If you're one of those kids, like I literally forget to wake up every morning, Keegan, you might want to turn your books in early if you think you're going to forget, because if you don't turn your books in, you're paying for them. You're going to turn them into me.
Are you going to remind us to turn it?
I'm going to remind you every single day.
Oh.
Yet I usually have 1 or 2 people in every class, even though I remind you a week out and I remind you every day, they forget to turn the books in. If you think you're one of those persons, and you got to be 100% sure you're not going to use the book. If you think you're that person, I will accept it early. Come see me during essay. I'll remind you when I hand out the test as well too, that hey, anyone want to turn the book in, turn the book. But I just caution you, like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this book as soon as possible. And then we'll be on Wednesday doing a review. You're like, ooh, I completely forgot how to do that stuff. You won't have your book to open it up and see how it's done, that sort of thing.
I mean, you can also just look back on your notes.
That's assuming that people kept their notes, right?
I kept them. I just had
Some people do. Remember I said keep your notes until the end of the semester and then toss them. Nobody should have their notes from semester 1 because,
Oh, I do.
I mean, technically we still are doing stuff from semester 1, just not, not specifically. Like we're not going to have questions only from chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, the stuff that we have in chapter 8 actually uses some of the stuff we had in chapter 1, but it's not specifically on chapter 1. Any questions? All right. Hey, don't blow off semester finals. Semester finals are that, I mean, from now on until if you go to college as well, semester finals are like a big momentous thing. You're like, winter finals, right? Some people look forward to finals. I was not one of them. Other people dread finals. I was somewhere in between. I just knew that it involved a whole lot of studying. But I also gave it some thought. I didn't just like, oh, wait, what's the final tomorrow? Right? I gave it thought before I was a day out so that I could say, okay, this is the final that I got to study for. If math is your thing and you're like, when are you going to show me something that I don't remember? Then you probably don't require that much study. If math is not your thing, and it's the one thing that you have to get a good grade in, then you need to start studying today for it. And do these problems multiple times. Yeah.
So like,
Never mind, I forgot my question.
Hey,
This might be a stupid question, but like in number 1, number 2, how can you tell if it was a negative or a minus?
so remember, from now on, we consider those the same. No difference. We just look at the sign. If it's a minus sign, we say it's negative. If it's a positive sign, we say it's positive. But the minus sign also means subtraction. The big picture is it doesn't matter. If I write, there are 2 numbers there. What are the 2 numbers?
10 and 4.
No. What are the 2 numbers there? And when I put 10 and negative 4 together, I have 10 positive, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have 4 negatives. How many are left with? Cancel, 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 cancel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is why from now on, when someone says, wait, is that a minus sign or a negative sign? We say, yes, it's both. It literally does say 10 minus 4. And yes, the answer is 6. But if we think about it as in terms of positive and negatives, we don't get a different answer. It's the same thing. So if you're talking about its value is negative 4. If you talk about it in terms of operations, it's 10 minus 4. Now remember, subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. So you can also think about this as 10 plus negative 4. The symbol looks exactly the same because it is, at least in terms of calculations. Yeah.
Number 15 is divide both numbers by 13 and -10.
Now that's a negative 13. Anybody else? All right, e-learners, that's all I got for you today. We're going to spend the rest of the time going over this and answering any specific questions. Do you guys have any questions? I think it's Pierce is the only one online right now.
Piercy.
Yeah. Oh, he sent me a chat.
What did he say? Says our research.
It can be 2 pages, Pierce.
Oh.
No, he's still here.
We must do 2 pages. Piercy. Oh my god.
oh my gosh, Gavin.
We can see Pierce.
Gavin is being Gavin, Pierce.
He just
Gavin, send me your Discord over to.
All right, I'm going to close the video down now. We'll meet same time, same bat channel tomorrow.
Back channel.
Oh my
What are we,
God.
the
You
CIA?
have YouTube.
You've never heard that before?
No.
Mr. Chartier has YouTube
We're
Premium.
born in the 90s. We're not.
This
old.
was the 60s.
I don't care. I don't ask people how old they are. That's weird. Unless it's like my sister. Like, we do judging people. Even though I'm
This was how Batman and Robin ended every episode.
Oh, I see this. I see this.
Sympathetic vibration.
He didn't say it. He's supposed to say.
Was there a lever right there that said bone?
Thank you. All right, it's for you.
No, Nick.
Batman married a cold.
Anyway, they used to end the show saying, "What's going to happen to Batman? Find out next week." Oh, here we go.
Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to my side.
Oh my gosh, just get to the clip.
Bro, I love Mandela.
All right.
Mandela.
You just
I like the story.
It would always be tune in tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.
Oh, don't
See what
worry. I've
happens.
seen it. Mr. Chartier. I know
My
top one number
grandfather
18.
forced me to watch it.
The dynamic duo's most chilling cliffhanger.
You ever seen the video of them walking up a wall?
Oh yeah, I know they did that sideways.
Oh, they did it
It's
this
like-
way. They're going like this.
Yeah, I know.
They just turn the camera
Yeah, I
sideways.
know. That's what I'm talking about.
Mr. Chartier.
It's really, it's like.
And it looks fake.
You can tell.
Yeah. What?
I need help on number 18.
All right.
Like they could have just set him up a wall.
It's the first time YouTube has failed me in a long time.
It did fail you before when you thought it was a video.